Hi everyone. Finally here. It's taken me a little while because as you know, I've not been very well, but we're here and we're going to finally do this one. So we've got this lovely surprise shaker card, and the reason I've called it a surprise shaker card is because when we're using vellum, and we're going to use two kinds of sequins or shaker elements in there. So when you gift this to whoever you're gifting it to, you can see you've got those lovely, it's like a chunky glitter in there, which because of the nature of the vellum, it sort of sticks to statically, I think. It sort of sticks to that vellum and you get to see it all. But then when you give it a shake, can you see you've got those larger sequins that sort of come through. So you've got this lovely surprise pop of colour. So if I open it up, and you can see just exactly what I mean. You've got those larger sequins in there, and then you've got that smaller glitter in there. So you've got again, so someone gives it a good shake and they can see all those little surprise elements. So this is what we're going to do. And again, if I open it up for you, you can see what I've done is I've made almost an envelope out of the vellum, which um, I think, all that chunky glitter to stick statically. But what you could also do as well by making it an envelope on the back, you don't have to seal that top piece down if you don't want to, which means you can swap and change the elements that you've got in there. You could pop some money in as well if you wanted to. By keeping it the way of an envelope, you can have a real good play. Um, so also what I've done is with these, so I use my distress oxides. So I use the scattered straw at the top, and then I went into the worn lipstick, and then where it sort of overlaps, you get that lovely peachy colour coming through. And then I used the peacock feathers. Here you can see that lovely blue, and then we've got the shabby shutters. But what I thought, as always, I thought what we'll do is I've got my Lisa Horton ones. Now, these are just her matte blending inks. I'm saying just, they're absolutely beautiful. I've picked four similar colours to the oxides that I use. So again, adding that water splash effect, that faux bleach effect to an oxide, you get more of a chalky lift. Can you see that more of a chalky lift rather than a full-on faux bleach? So when we use these Lisa Horton ones, we're going to get a bit of a different finish. So I thought you can see the finish on this one. So I thought in the video we'll do these ones and then we'll compare, we'll pop them together and we'll compare the finishes that you get between an oxide and a matte blending ink. So the colours I've picked from Lisa Horton Crafts, I've got the Early Sunrise, Sugar Candy, Surf's Up and Woodland and Moss. So similar-ish colours, but we're going to get a lovely different effect. So let's pop those to the side. And we'll pop that to the side as well, because then what I will bring in is this. Pop those there for a second. I've got a piece of card. It's 8 inches by 8 inches. And then all we're going to do is we're going to score this halfway down, so at 4 inches, and we've just got a lovely DL style card. And then this is my vellum. That's the size of the vellum that I cut. So it's 8.5 by 9 inches. So let me just check which side needs to go which. So we will come to this in a minute, but I have got the instructions there. You're going to need a piece that's 8.5 by 9, and on the shorter side, so on the 8.5 inch side, we're going to score at 4 inches and then 8 inches. So if I turn that round, we're going to score at 4 inches and then 8 inches, because then that gives us our 1/2 inch tab. And then if you turn it onto the long side, we're going to score at 1/2 inch here and 9 inches there. Or you can score at a 1/2 inch, turn it all the way around and score at a 1/2 inch. It depends which is you find easier. And then again, that gives us, if I turn it back right, at the top and the bottom tab that we're going to need. So I'm just going to pop those to the side for now, because I'm going to bring this in. Let me just bring in a bit of card so we can ink onto there. Right, so I've got some blending brushes. I'm going to use these, but I've also got these as well. Now, this is a Lisa Horton one, and I've got to say this is amazing, because what you've got is you've got this lovely thinner neck here. So when you are crafting or you're blending, it doesn't allow you to put too much pressure on. So if you're a little bit like me and you can go in a little bit heavy-handed, this is absolutely brilliant because it just doesn't allow you to put too much pressure on, which means you're going to get a beautiful blend. But then I've also got these. You can get these from Amazon. You can get these from everywhere. Again, a lovely, beautiful blending brush. So I think what I'm going to do first is I've opened my card up. I'm just going to take some of my low tack tape. Now, this is a Scotch one. And I'm just going to put it down that seam there, or that fold of my card. So when I'm inking, I'm going to have my card open, but it's obviously I'm not going to ink onto the back. I'm going to turn mine round. I tend to work inside out and upside down, as you're probably all quite aware. And then we're going to start with this orange. So I'm going to start with the orange from the top. I'm going to show you actually with this one, because it blends and lays down beautifully. So you're just going to pick a little bit of that ink up and you're just going to blend. And you can see that it blends, it comes off very gently. You can't put too much pressure on, which is exactly what you want. So what it allows you to do is just to be able to build up that colour absolutely beautifully. You're not going to get any sort of marks on there from the edge of the foam or anything like that, because for one, it's not a foam, it's this beautiful brush. And what it does, it lays it down cloud-like. You get this beautiful effect sort of coming onto there, which is absolutely gorgeous. So you're going to take your time. We're not going to rush this. We can always add more, but we obviously can't take away. It's almost like state the obvious today, isn't it? Let's state everything that's obvious. Use it as a lesson. So there we go. So I'm quite happy with that. So let's pop that there for now. I'm going to come in with my pink, but what you're going to find that you're going to end up doing is I'm going to add some pink and then I'm going to go back with the orange. And of course you can do that. You just keep going until you're happy with the lay down and the blend and the colouring and everything. Just have a real good play. I've got to say, this is so mindful doing this. So let's roughly halfway down. We're going to pop that down. So let me put this with here. And then I'm going to bring my orange back in and we're going to blend over that sugar candy. Some of these names are just absolutely gorgeous and make me hungry. Of course they do. But that's how, that's how it is. I'm pretty sure that these craft companies work with like food companies to call all their products a particular food name. And then it makes us hungry and we have to go out and buy some food. That's a match made in heaven, really, isn't it? So let's bring that pink back in. And can you see I've got that lovely peachy blend going between those two? And then, so let me just move those up out of the way. Just remember, literally 5 minutes ago, how beautiful and neat and clean my desk was. Look at it. Hasn't taken long, has it, to make a huge mess? Look how beautiful. Oh my gosh. These inks lay down so beautifully. They're smooth and silky, and it feels really nice as well. It's given my card this amazing coating. Ignore that bit where I just stuck my finger in it. Do as I say, not as I do. Don't stick your finger in your wet ink, because just don't. We don't want fingerprints everywhere. And then we've gone on now. So the Surf's Up was the blue. And then we've gone to this woodland moss. Oh my gosh. Look at that that green. How beautiful it is. A totally different green to the green that I used on with the Distress Oxides. But I had to use this. I think it's just the most beautiful colour. And then what I want to do is I want to blend over where that meets. I want it to blend in a little bit more rather than it look like a line between the green and the blue. So then you're going to this is where you're going to have a bit of a play about. You're going to bring it back in and you're going to very softly blend it through. So again, just a little bit at a time, really blending that through. Can you see how that blue and that green is blending through? So we've got the blue. So again, we're going to go over that pink to make sure it's a nice blend out. And then we'll bring that pink in. And then you're going to get that lovely purple sort of coming through. Again, being very careful. Can you see what I've done? I've dipped my blue in my pink, but that's absolutely fine because all you need to do is either bring in your little, a bit of a rag and give it a good wipe, and look how it's come up. It's come lovely. So don't worry, I do it all the time. I maybe should pay a bit more attention to where I'm putting each of these, but it's all going to work out in the end. So, okay, just keep on blending until you're quite happy with that blend. And remember, we're going to add some faux splashes on here. We go off with the water of the faux bleach on here. We're going to add some sequins and some little bits and bobs as well. So let me see if I can get all those lids correct. And then we'll move these as well. So then what I'm going to do now, normally what I do when I'm working is I've got a little bit of tissue with me, just a little bit of kitchen roll or something like that. And I normally hold my card with that and then I blend away because it saves all my little fingerprints getting on here. But when you peel that away, look how beautiful it's left that line for me. So before I go on any further, if I bring both of them in, you can see similar effects, but totally different finish. You've got a very sort of dreamy, chalky effect with the Distress Oxides, and you've got a bolder effect with Lisa Horton's matte blending inks. So, you know, depending on sort of what look you're going for is going to obviously determine which ones that you reach for. So then what we're going to do is, if I bring this in, you can see I've got hearts here. If you're making this card for Mother's Day, you don't necessarily need to use hearts. If you've got some flowers, they would look lovely as well. I've got one of Chloe's nesting dies, and this is her fancy ovals. So again, you've got some beautiful dies in there, some beautiful shapes that you can be using. We're going to go for these again because I'm going to try not to divert too much from my original design for you guys. So let's pop that to the side again. Open that up. And when I know I've made a bit of a mess, I actually know that that's a brilliant place to pop one of these dies. So I think there's always a way around these sort of things. So if I pop that there now, I can die cut away that bit of a smudge that I've got on there. I think I'm going to pop this one. I'm going to pop it round about there. In fact, I think I might go for a smaller one. Bear with me. Let's see. Am I missing a die? Let's have a look. One. It's this one, I think, isn't it? So let's pop that one there. And I'm going to pop that just over the edge, just that little bit hanging, because then the die cut that's going to be in there, you still can tell that it's a heart. If you hang the whole thing over, that whole sort of top piece, it's not really going to make much sense as to what it is. Pop that one there. Let me just make sure. I want to get the right. I'm just measuring it against this one, because I want to die cut out the same size. So let's pop that one there. And again, just hanging some of it over, having most of that heart on there so you can really tell what it is. And then I think that one's there, isn't it? So let's pop that to the side. Now, you can die cut these out before you ink your background. It's entirely up to you. I've done it this way. Again, I don't think it really matters. I'm going to make sure that most of my tape is on what's going to be the bit of waste. So popping this on here. And then bring another piece in for this one here. And then I'm going to bring in my small plates because they're going to fit on there perfectly. And then we will run it through my machine, my well-loved plates. So just pop it through my machine there. And then we can get on with the rest. So, bringing that back in. Put my plates up there so I don't lose them. Doing quite well. And this is relatively tidy for me. So let's pop those off. There you go. So there we go. So you can see the card coming to life, isn't it? So let me bring this one in. Again, on this one, I did this faux stitch edge with my gel pen. I'm not brilliant at that. I'm not sure. Some people do it really, really well and it looks like a beautiful faux edge. And I think sometimes I do it and it looks like I've given a 2-year-old my card and said, have a play. So that faux stitch on the edge is, again, it's entirely up to you if you want to go with that one or not. But what I'm going to do is I've just got a little bit of water in here. Let me bring in this again. I've got a little bit of water in here. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to spritz it into my hand and then I'm just going to do some flicks. So it just feels a little bit more controlled when I do it this way so if you've got lots of people use the paintbrush, dip it in water and they can tap and they get this beautiful controlled lift. If you can do it that way, absolutely fine. But find a way, if putting a bit of water in your hand and just giving it a splash you find easier, then absolutely do it that way. So while I'm talking, you can see it starting to lift and it's entirely up to you. So if I bring in my tissue or my towel or anything and then I can lift it, if you leave it a bit longer, it's obviously going to lift a lot more, but I'm loving that. I'm quite happy with that. So I think I'm going to leave that. So if I bring this one in again, can you see how this is more of a faux bleach and this is more of a chalky lift? Which is what I love. Have a play. Look at them both together. They both look gorgeous, but you've just got a totally different finish with both. And then I'm just going to allow that to dry. And just bring in my bone folder, turn it over and give it a good scar. So this is where you could go in now and give that faux stitch around the edge if you wanted. Again, let me bring this one in. I've done the faux stitch around the edges. I've got this lovely, these little stars that I've put on there. You can absolutely be popping anything on there. But before I go in with anything else, I'm just going to allow that to dry. So let's pop that there. And then I'm going to bring in this. So these are the dies that I used. Again, so these are Lisa Horton. So I used that lovely flower die here that you can see. Let me try and just tidy up some of this mess. There we go. And then these. So I use the With Love. And what I love about this is if I pop this open, you've got lots of dies in there that are all different fonts and different sizes. So again, you can have a real good play about with these. So I use the With Love. I think on this one, I might just pop on the hello. So I've got quite a large hello there. So I think I'm going to use that one. Pop that to the side. And then these flowers, I'm just going to bring in a few of them because these are the ones that I originally used. So I'll bring that in and show you. I used those 3 on here, but for this one, I'm going to bring in this particular die. So it's this one here. So we're going to use that. I'm going to use that one instead of this. So let's pop that back. And then again, just those 2 flowers. So I'm going to bring in some white card and I will in a second be able to find out what I've done with my little shim and my little machine. So we're just going to pop these through. So I'm going to use the hello first. So I'm going to trim it down to size. And then we'll run that through. Pop that in there and run it through. Now you can, on my other one, I've actually inked everything up. So the with love on there, I inked, and the flowers I inked. But I think on this one, what we're going to do is we're going to leave it all white, unless I get fingerprints on it. And then we're not. There we go. So let me just move that to the side and get rid of my bits. Pop that to the side. So I've got that beautiful hello there. And then I'm going to bring these in. So let me just trim that card then so it fits in, and then I only need to run this through once more. So popping those on there. Now, if you're worried that they're going to sort of move as you're running it through, just add a little bit of tape. It's not a problem. So let's add some tape on there, and then we'll run this through. And the bonus of having these little machines is it saves you place on your bigger machine, and it's nice and quick popping it through. So let's put that down there. It's taking these off. Look how gorgeous that is. Honest, this little die set, this one here, is absolutely gorgeous. You've got all these sort of flower heads that you can use on their own, or they're going to work beautifully with this. So it's sort of going to layer over like that. So let's leave these white, and then again, so it's just a little bit different to the one that I did before, and we can sort of see those two different finishes. So before I put all that together, I'm going to bring this back in. I'm going to throw things about. We're going to make a noise, lots of clatter. But we will get on with it. So if you remember, I showed you the measurements earlier, and I'm going to do it again. We've got 8.5 by 9. So if I turn this round to my tabs here, so you're going to score at 4 inches and 8 inches, and then that gives me my 1/2 inch tab. So that's scoring on the short side, and then scoring on the long side. You're going to score at 1/2 inch, and then you're going to score at 9 inches. So again, there you go. So I'm going to pop that up there. Now, it can be quite tricky because this vellum I've got is quite a lightweight vellum. I think it's about 100 GSM. So it can be quite tricky when you've got it on your scoreboard. In fact, if I bring my scoreboard in just to show you what I mean. As you're scoring down, what it's got a tendency to do is it's got a tendency to sort of want to lift. So you might need to score it a little bit there, then move your fingers down to keep it nice and flat, and then score down. So it's just about taking that little bit more time with a thinner vellum to score it than anything else. So all we need to do now is I've got my tab here. So if I just fold it over, what you're going to see is coming together. My tab's going to fold over the side. And then there's certain bits at the top and the bottom that we need to get rid of. So we're going to, on that side piece, we're just going to trim that away first. Let me move this. So we've just got that corner moved, and this corner as well. So then you can now see that when I bring this over, that tab is going to fold over lovely. And then obviously we need to get rid of a little bit of this. So this top piece here and this bottom piece here, we're going to get rid of because we don't need both of those. So let's very careful follow that line. If you want to use your craft knife to do this, if you find that easier, or if you've got one of your I'm going to say scoreboard. You're not going to put much away with a scoreboard unless you've got one of those scoreboards that doubles up as the why can't I think of the word? Trimmer. Trimmer. If you want to use your trimmer, we'll get there in the end, won't we? You absolutely can. Whatever way you find easy. So I'm going to bring that over. I'm going to make sure that's folded nice flat. Give that a good burnish, and that one as well. And you can see But what's going to happen is it's going to sit in there lovely. That seam, though, is not going to go to the front. It's going to go to the back. So when you've got it in there, you can see that that seam absolutely disappears. You don't see it at all. So, again, let's open this up. And then this is where you're going to decide on your shaker bits. I've got this lovely chunky glitter. I'm also going to put some sequins in, but I also found these. I forgot I had them. I think they're supposed to be little nail gems, you know, for nail art, but they're teeny tiny and they're going to look beautiful in there as well. So really, anything in your stash, if you've got little beads, if you've got little seed beads, actually, they might fit in there lovely. But again, if you're going for something like beads or seed beads, you might need to adapt the way that you create your shaker element. It might need more depth. But because I'm putting just chunky glitter and sequins in, this is going to work absolutely perfect. No worries. So, and this chunky glitter is absolutely perfect because, like I was saying at the beginning, you get the static element coming from this vellum. And what that does is it keeps that lovely chunky glitter, sort of giving it all a lovely covering, all a lovely coating. And then my sequins, I'm just going to pop a few of those in as well. I'm going to use the multicoloured ones. I might have to put a little bit more chunky glitter in. I'm using the multicolour because I can get away with it because I'm using multicolour on there as well. But if you've gone for a particular colour, you might want to just go for one colour with regards to your sequins. So I'm going to bring that over. I'm going to hold that into place while I find my tape pen. Oh, it's here. So I'm going to hold that there. Again, this, however you do this, however you find more comfortable, you do it that way. But I'm holding those in place while I go down there with my tape pen. And then I can bring that over and it secures them in for me. And then we can go top and bottom. And then the bottom as well. There we go. So you've got that lovely, give it a nice shake. How beautiful does it look? And then what's going to happen is this is going to sit in here beautifully. So let me just... So again, when you give it to someone, give it a good shake. When someone gets it out, you just see that lovely chunky glitter in there, but give it a shake and then you've got all that little surprise element of all that really beautifully coloured sequins. So before I add those in, we're going to finish this top piece off. I've got my white gel pen, but what I've also done this time is I've die cut out the hearts. So again, just using the hearts that I used before, we're just using 2 of them to create that lovely border. And I thought it might just, again, it just shows you a different finish to the one that I used on this. So we haven't, it's a lot more soft and subtle and delicate. Everything I'm not. But let's go a bit bolder with the white. So let me just find a dotty tape pen. I think it's up here. So that one can go, that one's going to go around fully. Let me just bring in this little bit of card here. I am trying to keep everything tidy, but you know, it never really works that way, does it? So, popping this one on here. There we go. And then this top one. So again, I'm using Dotty for this. I just find it really is absolutely just the best way, I think. And then just bring your scissors in and just trim Open that off. You can't get to it. There we go. Trim that away. And again, you've got that lovely border. And then we're going to do the same with this one. A bit dotty on there. And then bring this in and then just line it up. There we go. And again, scissors just to trim that edge. Do you know what? You could actually keep that edge on if you wanted to. It doesn't look that bad. Oh, let me just straighten. There we go. That didn't want to straighten off at all. So there you go. So again, so straight away, we've got a totally different look, a totally different finish, just by doing a couple of tiny different things to it. So I've got my hello. So you're going to have a bit of a play about where you want to pop those. I'm going to pop my hello there, sort of in the similar place as the with love. And then I know that those are going to go just like that. So before we pop those on, we are going to now add this to the inside. And you can see that it fits absolutely perfectly. If you want to go down that tiny little bit, so 4 inches wide, if you want to sort of take your vellum down to the one sort of 1/8 of an inch, so it would be 3 7/8, you absolutely can. But because it's vellum, when it folds over, there's not a lot of weight, there's not a lot of chunkiness, so you don't necessarily need to come down that 1/7 1/7/8 of an inch. It's all the same thing, right? 1/7/8 1/8. I know exactly what I mean, and I'm pretty sure you probably all know what I'm talking about too. There we go. So remember that piece that has got the folded piece, we don't want showing here. So that nice front is going to go to the front. So let's line this up. Line it up whichever way you want, either with your seam or here. I'm going to line it up here because I want to make sure that none of it at all, not even the tiniest little bit, is going to protrude over. There we go. Goes down lovely. And then you've got that lovely. I love it. It's like you've got nothing there, and then you get that lovely surprise of a shade, and you've got all that colour coming through. So again, with these, let me just bring in this piece of card. We're not colouring these up at all. We're not inking them. We're going to keep these ones nice and white. So again, I'm going to bring in my dotty tape pen. If you don't have the dotty tape pen and you've got your little glue, pin top glue, that's going to work just as well. So let's take that off carefully. And I want it to go on a lovely, lovely angle. And then we're going to do the same with this piece. So let's use dotty all those little stameny bit or stalks and onto the leaves as well. And then we're going to bring this in, and again, nice jaunty angle. Give it a good press down. And then I've got my two flowers. In fact, let me bring this back in. What you've got with these flowers, you've got those, see those little circles there? Can you see that? You can't you? Got those circles there. So which is those inserts, the inside bits? I'm going to use some of these for those. Lisa Horton's, again, her enamel domes, absolutely perfect for that. And I'm going to pop these ones flat as well. On this one, I popped a little foam behind them. But on this one, again, because I'm throwing it about, because I want to show you a bit of a different way, we're just going to put these nice and flat. And then we've got those two sort of different ways to view how it sort of looks and finishes. So there we go. Put that one on there and that one on there. I really like the white. I think it looks lovely. Let's get a couple of these out. I'm looking for these and right in front of me. I'll attempt, I'm going to pretend that I'm tidying up, but we all know I'm not really. I'm just doing the sort of the fake tidying up. Right, peel that off and pop it in there, and it looks absolutely lovely. And again, peel that one off, pop that one in there. I love that. So then the only other thing I think really that I did on the other one is this faux stitch. So let's go for it. On the other one, I just did lots of little lines, but I think on this one, we're going to do a line and a dot, a line and a dot, a line and a dot. And the good thing about this, it doesn't have to be perfect because it is that faux stitch effect. So you can have a real good play with all the different ways that you can do this. I think because we've got that the blended inks and the faux bleaching on there, you can get away with this not having to be perfect, which is always a bonus, isn't it? So turning this round. So I don't have any dies in my stash at the minute with mum or mother, but if you put for mum on this, this is going to be a perfect Mother's Day card, or for nan, gran, anything like that, whatever you were called. In fact, we were discussing the other day what I would like to be called when my kids have kids. And I wanted something really cool. Granddads always get like cool names like Pops. And I want something cool like that. So any good choices for nan, gran, grandma, let me know in the comments. But there you go. So then the only other thing is, what did I do? I added some sequins. And then just with this, again, we've got some sort of almost little starlight sparkly bits. So I've just popped a little bit of a cross there, and you're just going to add 3 little dots. And then we'll pop another one here. So a nice, not perfect cross. And then add 3 little dots around there, and we'll pop one more on because 3 always seems so much more pleasing. Just deciding where to pop it. Let's sort of pop it round here. So again, and those 3 little dots. I could put some sequins on. I don't have my hot glue gun turned on at the minute, but I actually like the way that that's finished. If I bring both of these in, using all the same elements, all the same die sets, everything like that, you've got 2 totally different finishes there, just by either using your Lisa Horton or your Holtz oxides. So that was the oxides. This is the matte blending inks. How lovely does it look? Very different, but a lot of fun, isn't it? So that is me done for this one, but you can imagine mum there would look absolutely beautiful. And then you've got all those sort of sequins. I'm absolutely loving that. So if you enjoyed that, let me know in the comments, give me a like, subscribe, share, all that kind of stuff. Feeling loads better, so lots more crafty creations coming your way. If you've got any idea for any tutorials, something that you would like to see, then just let me know. I'm quite happy to be very much led by you guys and what you are wanting to. I'm loving these. Sorry, very distracted. I just think they look so lovely, so different, don't they? So yeah, very much happy to be led by you guys. So if there's anything you would like to see, please just let me know, and we will definitely. I'm just trying to figure out how I turn this off. All this technology stuff, it's not my strong suit. This I can do with my eyes shut. Ask me to find an on-off button on a computer and it's not going to work. But thank you for joining me. I hope that you've enjoyed it, and I will see you for the next one.